live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
Today is Wealth Wednesday. We're all about money, career, and manifesting. We like the M, so I just thought I'd roll with that one. So today we're going to talk about how to take your business online, knowing that 90% of businesses fail on internet businesses within the first 120 days. And we want to know the truth, which is everything is possible with the right mind, with the right team, and with the right action. So we're going to do this. We come together each morning to know the truth, to live on spiritual principle, and to claim our birthright of prosperity. Let's do this.
Stack those chips.
It's a new moon, and I've claimed it.
You claiming it?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so excited to welcome to the show our special guests on hashtag Wealth Wednesday. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, Ms. Elaine Liu is in the house. She's a global renowned first-gen millennial speaker, helping us to really live the life of our dreams. I'm wondering, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine like?
Yeah, so I have the 5-minute gratitude journal. Have you heard of that?
We have.
Yeah, so Amazon, $15. No, I don't get a cut. I'm not sponsoring it. But it's just really simple. It takes 2 minutes to answer great questions to really start your day. And something that actually Erin has, just helped me implement is, what is my big goal for the end of the year? So I write that down at the beginning of the day. And what is one thing I'm going to do today to get closer to that goal? So it's really actionable steps.
Would you mind sharing with us that action step?
Yeah, talking to people, like communicating to people. I mean, both of us are online, and I think what people forget is that it's about building relationships. So who am I talking to where I'm creating more impact? Because I really believe when you create more impact, income becomes a positive side effect.
Well, it's a good thing you're on a talk show this morning.
Yes.
Checking off that goal right here and right now. Good morning, all. And well, thank you so much for being with us. Rebecca Whitman is in the house. She is the author of How to Make a Six-Figure Income Part-Time. I've got to know the secret. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us. So how do you start your day so you can make a six-figure income part-time?
Well, before I even get out of bed, I set an intention for my day. Then I walk my dog and spend time in nature, make some tea, and then I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for and 5 things that I surrender to the universe, and then I meditate.
I love that. People talk about what they're grateful for all the time, but you are the first person who's mentioned surrendering. And I think that's really key.
Oh my gosh, it's everything.
Got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, surrender is everything, because if I try to control and manage my day, then it's not going to flow.
Are you feeling in the flow now?
I am feeling in the flow. You guys are helping me get in the flow. You guys have such a high vibration here. It's so excited. I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Oh.
Like Rob says,
Tapped in, tuned in, turned on. Vortex.
we're in the flow, the vortex of redness, according to our
That's
good
right.
friend Wes Gear. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for being with us today. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
I remember I used to think surrender meant like you'd be down, begging for mercy and be like, I tap out, I give up. And now I understand surrender is really about like handing it over, not having to figure out the how or the angst or the forcing, but really allowing and knowing there's something working for me, as me, through me.
Very well put. There is a great difference between defeat and surrender. And I
Yeah,
thought the same thing. I'm
very big
like, this
difference.
surrender thing doesn't feel right to me until I realized that surrender was really faith.
Totally.
The first time I really even had the concept of surrender, I felt like that equated to jumping off a bridge. Oh, if I
It's similar.
surrender this,
Totally.
I am jumping off a bridge. And I kept praying to God or the universe. It's like, make sure I've got a parachute, because when I crash, I don't want to crash that hard. and then it was like, I kept asking for that and kept asking for that. And I realized it was the first time that I felt like I heard the voice of God or the universe speak to me. It was like, I'm not giving you a parachute, you have wings. Whoa. Light went off, completely different. I'm not gonna crash, I can fly. Might fly a little low sometimes, but I can soar, and I have the ability within me. I've got those wings. I thought that was really interesting, so I could surrender and jump off the bridge, if you will.
Well, the dress you're wearing definitely should have some wings, because that thing is hot.
Right?
Oh,
We
thank
love
you.
it.
Not gonna lie, with the
We love
blue necklace thing with it. It's
Oh,
looking good.
yes.
great look.
Special thank you to Asha Patel. She sent these beautiful necklaces to me yesterday.
Super dope.
Gorgeous designs. Erin was mentioning it was the new moon, and I was was happy to receive these
full
gorgeous
moon.
crystals.
Full moon, not new
Full
moon.
moon.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's one of those moons.
One of those moons.
And
It's mood. It's for sure mood.
so thank you, Aksha Patel, for charming me today.
I love it.
That. Beautiful.
So great.
Yeah, thank you. So what's going on, Erin?
Well, last night, so Nick Pigeon, who you guys know is one of my dear friends, I was thinking about like, okay, out of the month, we've seen each other, but we've been with people almost the entire time, other than a few weeks back, she was staying with me. But we came back together last night, went to dinner, and we were like, it's a full moon. The universe wanted us together, so apparently we're going to have to do a full moon little, session.
Oh my gosh.
So we went to Cicconi's first. We had a little dinner. We didn't have a drink. I don't really drink that much, but usually if we're out, she'll have a drink. Or whatever. We said no drinks because we're going to go do some intentional work, and you don't want alcohol in your system when you're doing that. So then after we went up, she had rented this beautiful home up in the Hollywood Hills a little over a year ago for her 30th birthday. So I was like, well, where can we go and see the full moon? So I drove us up, and we actually went outside of this house, and we literally like went under the moon. We sat there for like, I don't know, probably 45 minutes, and we like set our intention. We talked about all of our commitment. We did a meditation. We did all this beautiful stuff. And it's just, I think it's really important to set intentions every single day, but of course with the full moon, it's a reminder that there's this incredible magnetism that we are one with that can be used to really energize what we really want to embody in this lifetime and what we're going to experience. So it was a beautiful, beautiful night. I love you, Nick, so much.
Super dope. So what intentions are you setting for yourself there?
For me, it's always about getting clear of what I'm already committed to. I think that deep inside of us, we all know what we're already committed to, and it's getting out of the way of that and just remembering what we're committed to and making sure that we're not out of integrity anywhere around that. And so it's just really coming back to my own truth each time.
What do you feel most committed to right now?
Teaching truth, for sure. Teaching truth and is the #1 commitment of my life. Embodying truth, teaching truth for sure. And the rest is just details. Of course, I have commitment around money. I definitely claim my birthright around money. Health, highest energy I can have in my health. Family, thriving, period, end of story. And just, the rest is details.
I love that. Thriving.
Thriving.
Thrive was
not surviving, thriving.
Exactly. Thrive was my word of the year. I have
Really?
that in my intent bracelet that you bought me, Rob. Thrive.
That's right.
That's good.
I love it.
That's right.
It's a great name.
What does thrive mean to you, Jess?
Living my best, purest life.
Love
Really thriving, having the abundance that Erin mentioned, to really have opportunities and options, personal and financial freedom, and the ability to give and serve my community in a way that's beyond myself.
Yeah.
That to me is thriving.
I love that.
For sure.
Rich by giving, not by getting.
Exactly. Did you set some intentions in the moon?
Oh man, I'm always I have one intention, and that is to demonstrate God.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I feel like that captures everything, encapsulates everything. So for me, that sort of includes like infinite abundance, infinite health, all those things.
Totally.
So it's just to demonstrate God and to let the rest of it take care of itself.
For sure. It's always my only #1 prayer is to be connected as, as one, as divine. But then the rest is like, okay, and then it's like, but we might as well put some things out there also if we're
Yes.
going to demonstrate, So yeah, it's all fun.
And you're right. And the difference is, are you coming from a place of ego and lack, or are you coming from a place of joy and inspiration and fun? Right?
Totally.
It's an entirely different kind of experience.
Totally. Speaking of, I think we had a very inspiring show yesterday, right? So many epic shows. Let's take a look at the rewind. A lot of times you'll see on social media right now a lot of goal setting around full moon, and I think that it's important, we talk about it almost every full moon, that the new moon is really the time to set logical goals into action. Structure them out, think it out, strategically plan it out. Full moon is really about invoking. It's about using the energy, the emotions to really call in what you're ready to invoke and declare into your subconscious, and also to release whatever needs to be released. So it's a great time to actually put your goals into a feeling, into an experience. So, you can dance naked under the full moon.
Is that your plans? Is that what you have planned?
That's my plan. That's why I'm part of the crystal.
So I want to use music to recover people from psychological disorders, alcoholism, drug abuse, as well as pain because you're in the hospital. So
having this aha moment that if I can't control all these other things going on in my life, I was at least going to start controlling what was going in my body and my decisions and my thoughts, and I was going to start to transform.
And I just came up with the 5 hats. And being a woman and even men, we wear multiple hats. Like, and you know, being, if you're a mom, you know, you're wearing more hats, and it's like switching hats from mom to this to that, and which one is the better one? What am I supposed to be?
Natalie Jill, what an inspiration. Her story is incredible. I love how she went from being kind of a really hard times in 2008, had gained weight as a single mom and really down in the dumps, and just turned it all around and claimed her, you know, birthright of prosperity, and has an incredible online business today.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Great energy, great insight.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's incredible how she's really become an expert in personal development and fitness. I love that she's including both in her brand of transformation. And it was incredible to get to talk to the head monster himself, Noel Lee. How cool was that? CEO of Monster. He's doing some incredible work in the world of sound.
Oh my gosh.
And not just enjoying music and the experience, but an actual healing.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Right? Heal the world, Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
It's all
all right,
about
that's
it,
right. Talked a lot about that.
Speaking of heal the world, the McCord sisters have just some of the biggest hearts in Hollywood. And last night I was at one of their events. Rachel McCord was speaking on a girl boss panel, a boss babe rather, and it was at MM6. There's a pop-up on Melrose, and it was all celebrating Together One Heart and all of the work that Anna Lynn's been doing against sex and human trafficking.
Wonderful.
Super cool.
It was super cool. It was super cool. It was really inspiring because it was actually one of the first boss babe panels or girl boss panels that I've went to where they actually said, you know what, you can have it all. You can be a wife, you can be a mother, and you can be a career woman. Because so many of the women, even inspirational women, have preached to me, you get to pick two. And choose your timing, because you can't have it all. Where's your focus? And that really panicked me, and I was really sad about it because I thought, geez, what am I sacrificing in this full pursuit of my career? And I was really glad and refreshed to know that, okay, these women do have it all.
Yeah, it's got to be a relief to hear that, huh, Jess?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you feel most called to create right now in your life? Is it mostly about career and you'll let the other things unfold in time? Or?
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah.
I'm so fully focused here at Focus TV on building my career and building my brand and having an online business. As you know, Erin mentioned, it is really sad to know that 90% of them are failing.
It's
So
really
what is it
sad.
going to take to make this online business a success?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I was thinking today for Wealth Wednesday, you know, I've been around, you know, so many people building their online business, and I think that it's easy to get caught up in that raw thing that we see out there of people, you know, having made it. But the reality is it's very challenging. 90% of businesses, internet businesses, fail within the first 120 days, and so I think it's really important to talk about what is it that we see that makes success. And I've kind of come up with my own things, just watching and witnessing people. Love to have, you know, hear what you guys have witnessed people doing. But of course, number one is getting clear about the message and having a niche. Really getting clear what it is that your business actually is. I think a lot of people are it's confusing when you go to your website or you go online, like what are they selling exactly?
Yeah.
I think it's important to get very clear of what the message is in the product. Get a coach or mentor. I would say the number one thing that I witnessed for people that I've seen that's successful, they pay a ton of money for their coaching, for their mentors, because it's a tough gig to learn all the back end, all the platform building, and it's important to have somebody or a group that really helps you mentor through that. Number three is have measurable goals and a plan of action, because if you don't plan, you're planning to fail, basically. Number four is create a team, gotta have a team. And number five, the most important thing, which we preach here, is do your inner work and your mindfulness work, because it's gonna hit every wall you can possibly, everything. So self-development, business development is really spiritual and self-development. Yeah.
Well, and you know, it brings up that point that our good friend Amanda Russell, who is Fit, Strong, and Sexy, she's built an incredible brand online. But she always says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think a key point number 6 would be community. And surrounding yourself not only with your positive coach or therapist or whatever it is, but like-minded groups that can hold you accountable. And you don't have to pay for that to be in a master class, but you can just surround yourself with good people, whether it's your friends, your family, your mentors. I think that's a very important.
100%,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Ideally, that team is in alignment, very tight, deep alignment. I will tell you right now, because that team, as supportive and helpful as it can also be one of the greatest challenges you'll face in growing your business.
Actually, that's interesting. Nick was talking about last night. It's like one of the main things she wants to focus on is making sure she's more discerning of the people that she does collaborate with, because you want to be in alignment. If you're not in alignment, then there tends to be some, you know, what are the principles you're living on? What are the commitments? How do you deal with different things within your business? dealing with those problems before they come up? How do you set those principles in place?
Totally. It's like climbing Mount Everest, right? Like the higher you go, the more stuff you have to leave behind and the more people you have to leave behind. And so you better hope that the people that are with you, you don't have to carry and they don't have to carry you.
It's very true, right?
So, yeah.
But it's also a really interesting point too, because I think so many people, you know, are driving their kids to work right now and listening to us, or sitting at their desks and they're in a position where they're not happy and they're considering starting their own business, or they have a great idea. And so it's important to know that you can just start. As long as you have a plan, just start, take one step.
Very true.
And I would, and of course I'm always biased, but I would start by making a commitment to authentic success and authentic happiness first and foremost, because any success that you experience from that place of being unhappy, you're only going to magnify your unhappiness in the process. So if you don't get that part right from the very beginning, I promise you might have $100,000 or $1 million 10 years from now, but I will be getting a phone call and they will be saying, "Oh my gosh, I thought it'd make me happy,"
I need
and
your
it did
help.
not. Yeah.
I need your coaching,
Yes.
Mac.
So it's good to just make happiness a priority, even as you climb the ladder of success.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So true.
It was an interesting point too. At Natalie Jill, our guest yesterday, had spoke to that. When she was being her authentic self, her business grew so fast. I mean, exponentially. Her online presence just took off. And the second that she started, you know, hiring that out, somebody handles the social media, and she wasn't really speaking from her true authentic voice, she started having trouble.
It's a great point,
right?
Jess.
And when she stepped back into that and took charge of it again, it rose.
Yeah.
I think that's like the common denominator we've heard from successful people. They all say one thing: just be authentic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Sid, do you remember Sid? Well, she spoke a little differently to that. There was a little twist for her. But I think that is generally true. Part of the challenge and the opportunity is to be able to express your authentic way in a way that's accessible to other people. So who you think of as yourself has so many components and so many different aspects. You've got to find a way to distill that down so that it appeals to people.
And that it's valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Because who am I? I'm 1,000 different things. If I try to put all of that out there at one time, it leaves people very confused.
So true.
Well, there's a great new man out there who's expressing myself,
Yes.
found on the stands of Barnes & Noble, the Jazz magazine, Fashion, Culture, Philanthropy. I was so excited when I saw this and I thought, oh, but wait a minute. This isn't mine.
How cool is that though?
No, but it's so cool, and I'm so excited about what they're doing. This is the first issue. It launched in New York City in September. It's on newsstands right now, and I'm calling you out, Jazz Magazine. I want to be the next cover because I'm the real deal.
I think you definitely. I think you need to be the face of the entire magazine.
That's so much cooler than when I discovered there was a Bobby Mack car seat as a kid. That's way cooler than Jazz Magazine.
I was blown away. It is by divine destiny. My online business and brand has manifested itself into a magazine.
See, that's how we roll. That's how the universe rolls. Like,
it's true.
We're already working for you. It's already going. You don't even have to do any of the work. You'll be able to show up one day.
It is true, and it's a really good point actually, because you know so many of us set intentions for increasing abundance or prosperity in our lives. But we overlook all of the things that we're receiving on a daily basis that we may not, that may not be exactly what we've been looking for in terms of like the money or the exact amount of currency, but we're receiving stuff all day, and particularly here at Focus TV, we're exceptionally blessed by that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I receive and I connect with some of the most amazing, blessed, and talented people. And I just hope I'm smart enough to figure out how to make it all work and how to connect all these stuff. Because it's like, wow, this is such a game of chess, this thing called life, and building your business and your brand. And you have all these amazing pieces and players and the Jazz magazine. Now what do I do? What's the next move?
I think it's an important conversation in that people have, when we have so many floating particles, so much business, so many communications, so many relationships, what is the one thing? And I do think the universe is asking, what are you committed to? What is that one thing? So that you can direct all those particles and have it delivered into that one thing.
100%. It's so much easier to live your life if you're able to identify what you're optimizing your life for and then reverse engineer accordingly.
Fashion, culture, and philanthropy. I'm dedicated.
You are.
There you go. Done. On that note, let's take a break. We'll come back and talk to two beautiful women about their working and entrepreneurship. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm Wendy Brokaw. I'm Paula Marshall. By the way, this is politics, okay? This is not ticks. I hated it. Let's do it one more time. We are talking politics. Oh, let me do it one more time, wait. And we're called Momtics. And take two. Let's do it one more time.
Bitching,
didn't work.
complaining.
Let me do it one more time.
We're going to do it one more time.
Ready? And action. I could bitch to Wendy, and Wendy could bitch to me. I bitch more than Wendy does.
I freak out more than she does.
Right. So we bitch. We bitch about politics.
Two moms.
Oh, two moms.
Okay, so we're two moms.
It was smart. See, smart.
Not so smart. Of course, I have a news background.
No, I'm an actress. I mean, you've seen me.
Hopefully. Ticks. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, that's good. What? Because it's like tick, tick, tick. Oh my God, I don't know if I can do that.
I was texting, I didn't hear what you said.
And I will still be sleepless, I am sure.
I know. Drink more wine.
Okay.
It works.
My next guest is Joel Rempelkos.
How long have we been friends for?
Welcome to Defining Moments. I'm Suzanne Quast. My next guest is Joel Rempelkos.
Oh my God!
Relapagos. Welcome to Defining Moments. I'm Suzanne Quast. My next guest is Joel Relampagos. He is one of the best people that I've ever met. I think that his story of coming out on national TV to becoming one of reality TV's biggest producers should inspire us all. Here are his moments.
Hi, I'm Jessica Seppel. No, I'm not going to go hi. And I just had the most fabulous interview with your darling Alyssa Goodman. So excited to see the interview. That last part wasn't good. Create balance when it comes to a healthy life. Don't forget to watch it. No. So don't forget to check it out on Focus TV here in West Hollywood.
All right.
He hates it. Check it out on Focus TV.
Like it?
Can you cut it and make it better?
Oh.
You got this, girl. Here we go.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me laugh.
That was a good practice run, though. It was a practice run, a little slow on the uptake. Let's.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets. Hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over?
I'm Wendy Brokaw.
I'm Paula Marshall. By the way, this is politics, okay? This is not ticks. I hated it. Let's do it one more time.
Well, that's why I created Just a Thought meditation recordings, so that you can meditate in your sleep. Pause it there. Can you edit it in?
Being new in town, it gives me a perspective on, oh shit, no, that was wrong.
No, can we start all over? That's too much talking.
No, I'm an actress. I mean, you've seen me. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard. That was so hard.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
Oh, God.
I'll stop.
Let's do it one more time.
Bitching,
Didn't work.
complaining.
Let me do it one more time.
We're gonna
Didn't
do
work.
it one more time.
Ready? And action.
Do I just talk again?
If you are vegan, you get a vegan broth. You get, Jesus, guys. Fuck. I'm blah, blah.
I wish my boots looked like yours. Where are they?
It's single issue. Single issue. Single issue.
Andy, did I make it fun yet?
Thank you. It's no longer a golden secret.
We're done!
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. On this Wealth Wednesday, we oftentimes celebrate women's entrepreneurship. And today we have Rebecca Whitman in the house, who is a transformational speaker, author, and just a beautiful woman. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? It's so great to be here.
So great to have you.
I find your journey so inspiring because not only are you an artist, but you are a businesswoman. And sometimes those two, especially in Hollywood, don't mix.
Yes.
How did you figure it out? What's the secret?
Well, I feel like being an artist in this town sculpted my soul because it didn't happen in my timeline. So because of that, I had to find different modalities of spirituality to keep my spirits high as I was pursuing my art. And I also had to find a part-time job that would allow me to go on auditions and shoot movies. So I found this job where I was making a six-figure income part-time for the last 12 years.
Wow.
Unreal.
And that business is?
That is actually a children's acting conservatory for on-camera acting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did that idea occur?
Well, the idea was I had always been in commission sales and I had always wanted to pursue acting, so I found a way to pursue acting while making 6 figures in all commission sales. So I've sold everything from nutrition, water filtration, Ford cars and trucks, and now it's acting classes. So you can kind of just drop me down in a parachute and put me anywhere and I can apply these sales principles.
Wow.
So your book is how to make 6 figures in part-time. So I think a lot of people are like, wow, sign me up, right? We all want that. What would you tell somebody out there, they have a full-time job and they have an idea. They have an idea of something. What would you tell them for an online business?
I would tell them it's all about time management. If you have a full-time job, focused with your free time and how you're gonna create that momentum to get your business off the ground. But at the same time, the book is all about work-life balance. So you can't, like you said, you got to get happy first. So if you're coming from feeling burnout and exhausted, and oh God, now I got to do my part-time business, that's not going to create abundance. So it's about feeding your soul and your spirit and your fitness, and then also your time management as far as creating what I call your side hustle, which is your part-time business.
Right. Well, I mean, and in your book, Michael Beckwith does you're a very spiritual woman, so we're all about that, the alignment and like knowing that like we can have a to-do list all day long, but if we're not in alignment, like it just flows so much more. How did you get in that flow after, long days and everything else? What on that?
Well, you have to start in the flow. And that's why I like the first question at the top of the show of how you start your morning. I really believe how you start your morning is what carries you through your day. And then if you feel your vibration getting down, if you get tired, you can restart your day. Like I have 2 meditation practices, one in the morning and one in the mid-afternoon for the second half of my day. So I listen to CDs, I think of my car as a traveling temple, and I just, I keep my vibration high by talking to like-minded people, and it's just a conscious effort. I feel like our mind is like a radio station, and we can choose the love channel or the fear channel, and if I feel myself dipping into negativity, I know that I'm shifting into fear, and the fastest way to go into love is through appreciation.
Or shift it, I'm driving down the road.
Yeah.
Got some launches going on in your car. I know that your book has affirmations at the end of each chapter, right? Tell us about those.
It does, and I wanted ones about abundance because I know this is Wealth Wednesday, so here we go.
On page 64, don't mind if I do. I'm making a 6-figure income working part-time. I'll accept that. I have a beautiful, balanced, abundant life. Amen. And I am able to have the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want, and with who I want. And that is so powerful to me because that's really what I've been trying to affirm and call into my own life is personal and financial freedom, because I think the two go hand in hand, because it allows opportunity and options and for yourself, not dependent or relying on your circumstance, on a trade, on an Instagram story, whatever it might be, for yourself. And that is a powerful place to be, and a place, to be honest, I've never personally experienced. What does that feel like for you?
Well, that's how I do define freedom, is the ability to do what I want, when I want, where I want, and with who I want. And it feels amazing not to be chained down to a job or in some kind of toxic relationship. And it feels like bliss, just being a free agent in the world and being able to just move with the energy and do what my soul thinks is fun and feeling a lot of joy.
It's interesting because I've had the opportunity to interview several highly successful entrepreneurs, media moguls, and something really resonated with me last week. And he said, when I finally reached success, I had the ability to say no. And that, he didn't say no, he said F no. But it really gave him the option and the power. And I think that's so important, especially as women in business and men starting their own business, is sometimes we feel obligated to say yes to things we might not want to do. We feel obligated to compromise. We feel obligated to sacrifice. Even as artists trying to maintain a side hustle or a business, and you feel like you're sacrificing or compromising. How do you stay balanced in that?
Well, I can feel when a request, if I said yes to it, if I come from fear, obligation, or worry, I don't want to go. It's like I try to take the words woulda, coulda, and shoulda out of my vocabulary. So if I feel that I should go to an event or I should show up to something, if it's not really resonating with me and calling forth joy, then I don't go.
Yeah, stop shitting on yourself. It's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good, I just love this, and so much of this sounds inspired action, right? It's about taking inspired action, action that you enjoy taking, not just because it's going to get you something, but because it's enjoyable for right now. How do you develop trust and faith that that inspired action, that joyful action is going to lead to the successful results you want? Because I think that's part of the challenge for people. They don't actually believe that you can experience gain without pain.
That is the old model. No pain, work hard, play hard. I have to check my motives and then leave the results up to God. If I take inspired action, that means I'm coming from service. My goal is to lift someone up, lift the crowd up, lift the group up. If it's coaching, lift the individual up. If my motives are to lift someone up and inspire them, then I have to leave the results up to God or the universe, because I'm really powerless over the results. I'm in the action business and God is in the results business.
Did you grow up that way, or
no?
Did you grow up? So I think that's important. If you grew up under the old model, as most of us did, as I know I did, how did you flip that switch for yourself?
Well, a lot of study. You mentioned Michael Beckwith. I also, part of my morning ritual is A Course in Miracles. I'm a big Marianne Williamson fan. Wayne Dyer, Abraham, I know you said tuned in, tapped in, turned on. That's from Abraham. So through teachers, and there's so much out there with podcasts, with your show being so inspiring, with YouTube videos, with just so much media out there where you can just keep your mind plugged in, and it's really like retraining your mind. And some call it brainwashing, but it's like if my mind wasn't dirty, it wouldn't need washing. So I came from a very hardworking, hypercritical background. I love my dad. He was actually the inspiration from the book, but he was a super overachiever. I mean, he graduated from high school at 16, college at 18, medical school at 20. He had to wait a whole year before he could practice medicine, because you have to be 21 to be a doctor. And he was just working himself, to the ground. And I love him so much, and he's my inspiration for the book, but I saw his life and he didn't enjoy it as much as I would like to enjoy my life. So I don't want to look back on my life and say, I spent my whole time in this cubicle or commuting to work on the 405. I don't want to wait until retirement to have a fun life. I want to have that right now.
Oh, I love it. Your dad's name wasn't Doogie Howser, was it?
Yeah, no, he was though. I feel
Doogie Howser, MD.
Yes, he was the inspiration, I feel for Doogie Howser.
Sure, was amazing.
Yeah, right.
Your dad was amazing, totally.
So what does it look like? So now how do you spend your days? What does it look like? Because you do transformational speaking, you're an author. Do you work with clients also?
I work with some individual clients. I really build my day around my spirituality and my physical fitness, and I take care of that first, and then I build the rest of my day as far as my abundance and my entrepreneurship around that. I feel like in my book, I divide life into 7 areas, and they're in order of importance. It starts off with spirituality, then physical fitness, then emotional, romantic, mental, social, and finally financial. And I kind of build my days around those 7 areas in that order of priority.
It's a profound thing to highlight, because I'd say that most people, particularly if they're starting a business, would think that they need to prioritize finances first. And you're saying the exact opposite, actually, of that, right? Interesting. Yeah. Was that something you were aware of kind of really on in the process, or that's just a realization that came to you over time?
It's really what's happened recently in the last few years. It's so counterintuitive, but it's like the less hard I work, the more money's flowing in if I take care of my spirituality and my physical health, and it just flows in without as much effort.
It's so interesting. You mentioned Marianne Williamson a little earlier, and in her book, Gift of Change, she talks about why she thinks she had such unprecedented success so quickly in her life and her career. And she said that she attributes it to not knowing all of the complexity of business and simply just coming from a place of service. She didn't know anything about book contracts. She didn't know anything about setting up workshops or seminars. So she just basically offered her services up with the intention of, staying in alignment with Source or God, and everything else just bloomed from there. So you're a testament to that, to the truth of that.
And I like to say that your why is more important than your how. If you know why you're writing a book, why you're having a seminar, why you're having this wonderful morning show, like you said, to share truth, The hows just kind of take care of themselves. So you got to keep your mind focused on your why, not your how.
That's so powerful, because I think even personally, I get caught up in, well, who am I to do, maybe this is the imposter syndrome, and we talk about that often. Who am I to do this or make that deal? I've never done that before. I don't know anything about it. I know why I want to do it. And I'm very clear about that. And so I'm taking steps and learning from experts like you in how I'm going to do that for myself, because I don't know how, but I think that stops so many people. They just don't know how. So then they're relying on everyone else just to do it for themselves and wish that they could do it, rather than actually just taking whatever steps. And sure, I'm gonna make a mistake. Fail fast, pivot hard, right?
Right.
But that figuring out the how, it just happens. You don't know until you know it, or until you make your first deal.
And all you have to do is the next indicated action. You don't have to go all the way to the top of the mountain. You just have to take the next step toward your goal, and then the next step will be revealed, and the next step, and you'll get truth from the most random people. It could be someone you're standing next to in the grocery line. It could be, you know, something that happens on the radio, like a song. My friend says she finds her truth through vanity license plates. So she's always staring at the car in front of her and waiting to get her next step for her path. So yeah, it's just, you just have to take the next step, not the whole path.
That's so funny.
So funny, when I was a kid, I mentioned it, athletes. Like, I was just very obsessed with, like, whoever was the cool, like, you know, outstanding athletes. And one thing I noticed was, especially with the basketball players, is that the basketball players that became great later were the ones that as kids really sucked, but they kept shooting over and over. They had, like, no conscience about it. They just kept shooting like 30, 40 shots a game, and they did it for years. And all of a sudden they're 15, 16 years old, and they're getting college offers. So there's so much truth to that. You just keep going and persisting and shooting, and not sort of, you know, documenting too much of what the score is. So
and you fall in love with the process. You know, those athletes were in love with the process of shooting, and it's to be more process-oriented than results-oriented, because if you look at your paycheck and you're talking about 90% of online businesses failing, you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 60 days, and I've only made 50 cents, and this is never gonna work. And you can't look at the results, you gotta look at the process and just know that the results will come.
They spoke to that at the Boss Babes panel last night. Rachel McCord said, don't compare yourself to somebody else's final product.
Yeah.
You're on your journey, and just think about how beautiful that journey is. That's where you are. Recognize how far you've come, not, you know, where you think you should be, and comparing yourself to that, which we all do, especially with social media.
And I think don't compare your insides to somebody else's outsides, because on social media, everyone looks like perfect and like they're abundant and healthy and in love, and it's like the best version of themselves. And a lot of people use social media as a way to beat themselves up and say, oh my God, I'm never going to be like that person, so why even try? But that is not usually the true person. So you just got to know your own inner journey, what your goals and your intentions are, keep your motive to be of service, and then just let it roll. Just that's the hardest part, is like we talked about surrender. Then you just got to, you know, let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, it's hard to think that I could just let that happen or compare myself to a part-time 6-figure income. That seems too good to be true.
Yeah. Well, tell people where they can find you and where they can work with you.
Great. You can find me on Instagram, Rebecca E. Whitman, Twitter, Rebecca E. Whitman. My website is RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com, and on Facebook, Rebecca Whitman.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yes, thank you.
Don't forget to pick up your copy of How to Make a 6-Figure Income Working Part-Time. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
It helps with weight loss and mental clarity and sleep and bleh.
Oh, that was good.
I know you're gonna love it. Shit, yeah, I did. Bone broth. It's not vegan bone broth and a vegan yeah, okay. If you are vegan, you get a vegan broth. Jesus, guys. And if you're vegan, you get a vegan bone broth. Vegan broth. I'm blah, blah. I know you're gonna love it, so check it out.
Beautiful.
Blah, blah, blah.
One, two, three. Look how cute we are. We are so cute. Andy, aren't we so cute? Andy, don't you love us? Bless you. Sorry, my sneeze is so aggressive. Wow. somebody has Monday vibes, and it's not Monday. Asante Cleveland of the LA Chargers. What? Hot, 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 hot. Alyssa Goodman Show. Who cares? I don't fucking know. We're just clicking all day. I will not allow that. Cheers. On Monday we had Asante Cleveland. And you're with Victoria. I'm with Victoria. What the F is my problem? This is it. This is it. So, cheers. Cheers. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and I'm so excited to welcome Elaine Liu to the show. She is a business coach for women of color. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, I'm so excited.
We're so excited to have you here. So I think you have a very interesting story and profound in that you come from two parents that were immigrants, and you're here overcoming, having an online successful business, working with women, and we want to know how the hell you did it.
Yeah, me too. When you were giving the tips on how to have a successful online business, I mean, you were talking about niche. So I just have a very unique niche because it's women of color. But mindset is everything, right? I know you had a guest, Manish, that came in who has this fashion line, J Squad, who was talking about coming in and thinking you have to go through the system. And the hard part was just dealing with that, right? There's this quote I read when it comes to people of color where our grandparents survived, so our parents could provide. Our parents provide so that we can thrive. And I grew up thinking 2-week paycheck is gonna make me happy. Like everyone, right? Regardless if you're a woman of color or not. And I did all that. I did straight A's, valedictorian, graduate for my master's, and like, there's more to my life than this. And I was like, why not? What's the worst thing that could happen to me?
So true. I know you were working with nonprofits. You had a traditional job, correct?
Yes.
And then you took the quantum leap into creating your own online business. What was that quantum leap like for you?
It was a decision. That's what it was. I'm a recovering perfectionist, like a lot of entrepreneurs. And it was a decision for me. I've been wanting, I mean, you hear so many stories of people who've wanted to do their business for years. And I decided, I did everything that everyone told me to, so why not? And it's been a hard journey. There's times I want to quit, but I'm here in a place of service. And when I have, whether it's community members or clients that come up to me, they tell me, I want to work with you because you look like me. And the results that you give to your clients. So that really resonates with me.
So
wow, love that. When you took the quantum leap, were you clear about what kind of business you wanted to start?
No.
Yeah, so how did you figure it out?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think, you know, there's this whole notion of online, but you have to understand online is a means of communication, right? Just like phone calls, just like text messages. So for me, it was talking to people. One of your tips was hiring a mentor. So I hired a mentor. Worked with her, and I did like any Fortune 500 company does. I did target market research. I talked to 73 women of color in my first year, just asking about pain points and challenges. And I was like, okay, this is my niche that I want to work with.
So what were some of those common denominators that really sparked an interest in you and thinking you could help resolve that?
Because for me, it's just making that decision in terms of resolving that.
But what problems were you trying to resolve? What are you helping your audience through?
Their number one challenge is the fear of failure, judgment, and even success. That was the number one challenge that I saw in a lot of them. It's dealing with their mindset. Growing is go get your bachelor's degree and then you're set. But they didn't realize, wait, I could actually get paid for what I love doing. Whether you're in and out, working and flipping burgers, or having your own company, it was dealing with a fear. And I have personally spent thousands of dollars, not just in mentors and coaches, but even going to therapy. I've done the inner work, which you were mentioning is so important to do that. And I talk about it. It's so shameful in the Asian community to talk about that I've worked with therapists.
So funny, huh?
Because you should figure it out. Like, you should figure it out on your own. I feel like there's sometimes a sense of jealousy from our parents to ourselves. Wow, you're given this great opportunity, a public school education, so you should be able to, because you didn't get you have the resources that I didn't have. So you have the schoolwork. and thinking that it is occupation. I think it's just a cultural thing. There's no right or wrong of it. But I just knew, and that was a struggle for me because I was the firstborn in my family in this country here in America. And my biggest struggle was, how do I both just assimilate in the American culture as well as my Filipino culture?
Yeah. We talked a little bit about working with women of color and how they need to build extra trust. Tell us about why and what you think that is.
Yeah, we have trust issues. So to my women, we have trust issues. I think it's this very independent, individualized culture where we're striving to, we want to be that #1 person, get straight A's, be valedictorian. When really, I mean, I loved what you were mentioning, Jez. It's building community, and we didn't learn that. We weren't raised that way.
And I would imagine part of that also is, you know, and sort of inherited generational sort of premise around like token, this idea of a token, right? So like, I remember being a child, right? And to be honest with you, like on the basketball team or on certain sports or in certain communities, there was really only room for like one brown guy, or you know, and so what happens is you start to compete with the other, right? Yeah, you start to compete with the other, with, you know, you start to compete with other minorities, and so suddenly you can have or feel animosity to each other simply because there's only maybe one spot or two spots on the team for somebody like you. So that's part of the generational challenge there too, I think.
Yeah, it is, and it's so hard because our parents just like their goal was stability, right? My dad had 2 goals for us: food on the table and an education. He only had a high school education. Yeah. And he did that. I mean, my brothers are the typical Asians. One's a chemist, one is an engineer. And I'm the crazy entrepreneur, the black sheep, but that's completely fine. But I think what happens, and I hear this excuse, and I'm sorry for using this, but, well, my family sacrificed so much, so I need to continue being a lawyer, an engineer, a doctor, which is all great jobs, but you could tell that they're so unhappy. And I remind my clients that your family sacrificed so much so you can have a life of choice. I don't care if you're in and out, you know, working there, or if you do a talk show, writing a book, whatever it is, but they sacrifice so much so we could choose the life we want.
So true. So obviously, we have many people that work together in the coaching and world and stuff. What would you say for people out there that are looking to do an online business? Why did you choose to pay coaches to do that? What was the difference? What would you say for someone who maybe doesn't have the money to have a coach, and what the benefits are? Why you would say to definitely take the risk and do that, or not, or what's your input on that?
So you need to have a strong money mindset. But I think, do you mind if I share a story?
Yeah, please.
So when I hired my first coach, I had $7K in my savings. She was $10K to work for 3 months. I wiped out my savings, put in a credit card. That was a major risk. But no one taught me that that was appropriate. I was willing to take out $30,000 in college loans. That's technically debt, right? Or paying $20K for a car. That's technically debt. And society's taught us that that's okay. But they haven't taught us that it's okay to use a credit card to invest in yourself and a mentor. Before I hired a coach, I had my dream job working at a community college, and I had an amazing mentor. But I knew from that experience that mentors help you save money and time, which is weird, but it's true. They do save you money and time. And I think I've worked with a total of 6 mentors now in my 15 months of business. But this 1 month alone, I had my live event this past Saturday. LaCroix sponsored it. I've only been 15 months in business. I was presenting at Bali and Sweden, and I was at Universal Music Group. That wouldn't have happened without the support and learnings from mentors before me.
Powerful.
It's such a good point, and it's interesting because when I first started my coaching business, I really struggled with like what to charge people, and right? I mean, you really struggle with that, and I wanted to offer so much value, and then I started thinking about, I'm like, well, what am I saving these people? Like, what value am I actually offering? I started thinking about all the money that you spend on becoming a coach, or becoming a mentor, becoming a professional in any space, and all the years that you spend. And then the entire value that you're offering up really is distilling all that down so that in 3 sessions, or 9 sessions, or 12 sessions, they can get all of it, right?
Yes.
And get all of it instantly, right? So what would you say if you were to boil down what you've learned and what you share with, you know, and I know you can't do that right here, but
Yes.
in terms of the fear of failure, fear of success, and sort of some of the confidence issues, what would you say, where can people start in terms of some of the inner work that they can do?
So Rebecca, who you interviewed earlier, talked about their why, and it's really knowing what your why is. I have a sassy 92-year-old grandma who I am taking care of this past week because my aunt's in New York. My why is her and my family. I mean, I have generational sacrifices before me that, why not? So maybe to a mother it's for their kids. Or maybe it's because they just want to. It doesn't even have to be for an individual. So it's really knowing what that why is. And I really hone it down with my clients. What's interesting is, you know, you hear the quote, well, I don't want to be too much for people. And I don't want people to think it's all about me. And I remind people, if you don't show your most authentic self, you're not going to inspire other people. Like, I get messages all the time where like, I just love how you love Target. Like, this dress is from Target. You know, I'm just joking around that I'm Target obsessed because I hope to be an ambassador one day, Target. So I tell them that, and also it's based off relationships. I do want to kind of break down this notion where people think you could put a post and make a lot of money from it. No, it's the comments it's the relationships that you do behind the scenes that are so important. And I say this because I used to be a former grassroots organizer in Iowa and Indiana doing cold calls and door knocking, that you have to build relationships with people, even though you're online. And if you expect to automate it one day, well, the automation happens after building powerful relationships and results for your clients.
It's very true. We have it backwards. Sometimes I remember back in the days, I would think I have to get the course all right, get everything back end all perfect, and then I'll launch it one day. And it's like, it's actually pretty much the opposite, because you can't really even launch your online program until you have those relationships, until you've been giving so much value for so many years. I mean, you can do it right away as well, but I had it completely backwards. I had to get it perfect and then thinking I was going to launch one day, and it's not the way to run it.
So true, Erin. Oh my gosh.
I'm so scared to do that sell and get rejected or ask someone to meet for coffee, but I'm just like, okay, if they reject me, that's fine.
Totally.
Do you think it's because everybody's getting their validation through likes and comments and followers? And
yes, absolutely. I mean, I have 1,800 followers on Instagram. I've built a 6-figure business, but I don't count how many likes and comments. It's the quality of relationships.
So true, so true. Yeah, we got to get over that. And you're taking things offline as well, which I love about your movement, which we're involved with together, that you're really taking it offline. People want to be in person and they want you. So what does that look like?
I'm really excited. I'm quickly, but next year, 2019, I'm actually partnering up with Women's City Club of Pasadena, doing monthly workshops and having guest speaker for free, just because I had my first event. I called it the Color Your Dreams live event. And it was real community and connection. And I wasn't just there on stage talking. I actually shared the stage with a lot of the women there. And they were thriving it. Some women have already messaged me. I've already met coffee with this person. I have a podcast interview. One woman that came who's not a client, she went to my first event, she came to this one, found a job and is making 15K more than what she was supposed to get. And as you know, LA is a huge city. And so I know it's a huge commitment to drive down the 405 or up the 405 to see someone. So I'm really excited about that.
So exciting. Love it.
It is.
Well, really proud of you. You're doing amazing, and it's so important to have a voice for women of color and all of us in this movement, supporting the conscious men and everything else. So tell everyone where they can find you and how they can work with you.
Yeah, so you could find me on Instagram. It's Elaine Lou, so it's ELAINELO_. And in that Instagram account, you can click on the link, and there is a community called Color Your Dreams Tribe, where I have weekly guest speakers come in. I actually had a Forbes writer come in and just give tips on how to be in media. So
awesome.
Love it. Love it.
That's great.
Okay, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. So great.
We're doing it. You're doing it. This is so exciting. I'm so excited.
Thank God.
I just got really nervous. I haven't been nervous this whole time, except right now.
You got this. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. I pooped myself.
Okay. She goes. I'm your host, Elizabeth Lake, and I would like to I'm your host, Elizabeth Lake. Man! That's for your outtake.
I'm your host, Elizabeth Lake. We'll see you next time.
Yay! We did it!
Dr. Abs. Does he have abs?
Fire emoji.
I think it tastes like shit.
I fucking hate it. This is the closest thing to chemicals.
Oh, there it is! You want to try it?
No. Hot! I don't know how you could be hot on because you don't have any clothes. Josh, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Hot! Heart emoji. Really hot. So hot.
You're supposed to say yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Soul Playground. Please be so.
I know. Fuck that. Please.
Please.
For the board.
Of course. We're like in the zone. Peace out. It's like for the boys.
Oh. Shout out to Ricky Rebel.
Live from Los Angeles, this is Good Morning LALALAND. Welcome back. It's Wealth Wednesday and we're discussing how to create a six-figure income. So the question I have for each of you is, what's your top tip for doing just that? Creating a six-figure income.
You have to find something that is on your purpose. And I tell my clients there's 3 questions to ask yourself. What do I like to do for fun? What am I good at? And what makes me mad?
Oh, what makes you mad? Love that one.
That's your passion. That's some fire.
We do talk about that a lot, how problems point to purpose.
Yes.
Yes, I love that.
For sure.
So since you added that tip, I'm just going to add it on. So you have a second tip. It's talking to those people that are aligned to who you want to work with. I think so often we think Google.com will figure out how to create a six-figure business. But in reality, it's talking to who you think you do want to work with or collaborate with as well.
Do you have any good recommendations on how to do that in a way that feels authentic and organic and doesn't feel needy?
Yes, a good question. So it's one of the first things I do with my clients. And I don't know if any of you know this, but it's called Rolodexing. Back in the day, there was those little phone cards, and it's looking at people who probably fit that mold. So for me, when I first started, it was anyone that was a woman of color. So I called my friends, and I just asked them their top challenges. That was it. And really, with any business, online or not, your business actually starts with what I call your love circle, the people that know you. In fact, I have clients who are friends of mine from high school and college.
Wow.
Lori Harder calls that a tribe called bliss.
That's right, she does.
And on that note, another affirmation from How to Make a Six-Figure Income Part-Time. I'm able to learn something from everyone who crosses my path. That's Rolodexing, right?
So true, yeah. I think that you can definitely, if you're a coach or whatever, give your services. Do it for free in exchange for testimonials. It's a great way to begin the flow and just giving the service and seeing what works and doesn't work for people. Products, have them try it out, give it to people, try it out, so great.
If nobody wants it, triple your price.
And then see what happens. I'm the queen of never writing anyone off either. There's a purpose for everyone who crosses your path. And as long as I am maintaining my truth and offering service, it's amazing who the rarest people give the biggest treasures.
It's true. You don't want to prejudge people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your time and light with us. We are Good Morning LALALAND, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV, Roku, and Twitch.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Support these amazing, empowered women. Have a divine day.
It's going to be a good morning, LALALAND.